Welcome to the Manitoba Connections TV show with interviews and performers from my special guests lined up over the next year. Charities, nonprofits, multicultural and small biz and disability organizations, and many more. Today I have as my special guest Stephen Bryden, District Director for District 64 Toastmasters. Here's his bio. Stephen is a 25-year business and technology project management professional, experience in scaled agile delivery. Today, leading as a product manager, Stephen leads multiple teams at different levels, building shared agreement between strategic goals and the delivery of technology, tactical roadmaps to realize them. Early on in his career, while moving into roles leading small technical teams, he quickly discovered the importance of building strong communication skills. At that time, he decided to join Toastmaster to help him achieve this goal. Since then, he has given both communication leadership experiences that has enabled him to serve in larger leadership roles. This includes technical supervisor, project manager, and now product manager, influencing enterprise project initiatives for 2 divisions in the organizations he works for. Today, Stephen actively volunteers and gives back to Toastmasters members and enjoys supporting and empowering its members to become better communicators and leaders. Most recently, Stephen was elected to District Director for District 64 Toastmasters. This is the first leading executive leader for the district. In this role, he provides oversight for strategic planning, supporting and empowering the district executive committee and overall administration of a district business and budget delivery for the year. Stephen is also an author, speaker, and photographer, and facilitators of workshops. Thanks for coming in today, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Barry, for having me. It's great to be here.
Now, I just want to ask you, you didn't mention this in your bio, but I know that you work in a government department of Manitoba. I'd like to know how you got involved in Toastmasters and why you joined Toastmasters. It helped you with your job, too, in the government role.
It absolutely did, Barry. Way back when, about a decade ago, a little over a decade ago, I was working through my career. I was finding that I was getting into larger roles, that were stepping into leadership roles, and I found that my communication skills needed a little bit of improvement. I found it was becoming a little bit of a barrier, so I joined a local Toastmasters club in the organization I work for, called License to Speak Toastmasters, and from there, my Toastmasters membership journey began. And from that point on, I've found that my communication and leadership skills development has grown substantially since then.
So how many years have you been a member of Toastmasters then?
I've been a member since 2010, so I guess that's 14 years. I can't believe it. Time moves fast.
So does being a member of the organization help you to do your paid job better then?
Oh, absolutely. So one of the cool things about being a Toastmasters member is that it builds your confidence fundamentally. And through building your confidence, of course, you're growing your communication skills because you're practicing in every club meeting. And as your communication skills grow and your confidence grows, so does your leadership skills. And those competencies are just core competencies that are good to have in life. So both in my professional job, I've found that's definitely helped me become a more productive worker in the different roles I've been in, but also personally in life. I've been able to navigate relationships better, as well as be more of a community leader as well.
And what do you say some of the benefits of being a Toastmaster member are?
There are several. One thing I believe is confidence. Again, confidence is huge. Many people who are out there, they have a hard time finding their voice, sharing their voice, communicating their ideas, and oftentimes it's a little bit of that anxiety and fear that gets in the way. So if you're able to build up that core fundamental bit of confidence while practicing communication skills within a peer-supported environment. So every club offers a peer-supported environment where it's safe to practice, it's safe to make mistakes, and you're going to get lots of constructive and helpful feedback to accelerate your learning growth and your continuous improvement. And next thing you know, after so many meetings and a period of time, you'll notice changes within your communication and leadership skills growth.
I've heard some people say that I've spoken to that are shy, they lack confidence, as you mentioned, and they want to do public speaking. So the organization will definitely help in those areas then?
Oh, 100%. When I joined as a member, I had a real hard time getting my ideas across in just small meeting rooms. I found that my knees would shake, I would get very, very anxious, and that was inhibiting my ability to get my ideas across. And that's not a unique experience. Many people have those challenges. But when you join Toastmasters, it enables you to practice, and that incremental practice elevates your confidence to say, okay, this is not so bad. Why am I so nervous? A lot of it's just in your head. And through that incremental practice over and over and over again, just introducing yourself in a simple meeting in a round table, maybe it was hard at one time. After a few meetings, that's not so bad. Now presenting in small forums, really nerve-wracking about that. You practice a number of times, not so bad. Next thing you know, you're presenting to large audiences in different forums, in different contexts with different audiences. It's incredible on how far you can grow. And it's really just the only limitation is how far the member themselves want to grow. So whatever goal they like to achieve in terms of their skills growth, they'll be able to take it there.
Now, you mentioned earlier that doing virtual networking was another way of communicating. Now you're doing yet a third way of communicating. That's producing a podcast called Empowering Success. Tell me how you decided to get into that area of communication.
Well, interesting. So the Toastmasters program has something called Pathways. So Pathways is the self-paced e-learning curriculum that goes hand in hand with the club experience and the club meeting. So the Toastmasters program fundamentally is the club meeting. You become a member and you participate in the meetings, week over week or month over month or every 2 weeks, whatever the cadence is for that particular club, because every club is different. But a part of that club meeting is a Pathways e-learning curriculum. And that's where you can dive in and you can learn some component about communication. And then there's a little project. And that project, you'll do a presentation or a speech. And then you'll present that speech in the club environment. And when you do that, of course, you're consuming the content. You're thinking about the content. You're formulating a presentation about the content. Now you're delivering the content. And you're presenting the content. Now you're going to get feedback from the club. They're going to give you an evaluation on the content. Interestingly, the Pathways curriculum has many different projects that looks at different aspects of communication. One of them is doing a podcast. So actually, I built that podcast, District 64, Empowering Success, as part of a Pathways project that I endeavored on. And that Pathways project said, you got to produce a podcast. Here's how you go about doing it. Of course, Barry, thank you for your help and guidance, because you helped give me some tips to set me on the right stage for that. But that's all part of the learning journey, right? You go in and you dive deep. Okay, what does it mean to do a podcast? That's learning by doing. Okay, find different perspectives. Okay, how do I do this? How do I record it? How do I go about it? Okay, I got to do a couple different episodes. I got to find guests to go on the episode. And then next thing you know, you work through a few podcasts. Now you have a podcast series. At the end of the project, you get evaluated on how you did, maybe some tips, things that you've done well, some tips that you could do a little bit better next time to contemplate, and then you move on to the next one. So that's kind of how I got into the podcast. Interestingly enough, it's a Pathways project. I think it's like a level 4 project, because Pathways has 5 different levels of projects that you kind of work through. It's just a progression. But I found that one a lot of fun to do. It was really cool because it kind of expanded my network. It's a different modality to communicate, right? Because a podcast stage, you're interviewing people, getting them to communicate some good things out to the community. So that was a fun one to do.
And so I wanted to ask you, so I understand that one of your very special guests you had on, I don't know if you were surprised by this, I was surprised, was the top person in Toastmasters International. How did you feel about interviewing that person?
I was very grateful. One of the cool things, so that was Matt Kinsey. So he's right now he's the past international president for districts, for Toastmasters International, I should say. So that's worldwide. He was the international president worldwide, and that was a few years ago. And he was on the cusp of taking on that year position, because the international president takes on that chair role for a year, and he was coming in as that. I was super grateful. I reached out. I had the confidence. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should, but you know what? I'm going to send him an email. Who knows what will happen? The worst thing they'll say is, oh, I might not have the time. But you know what? Toastmasters is awesome because each and every one of us has been on the same journey. The same journey. We're all just trying to build our confidence. We're expanding our horizons. We're trying to build our confidence in terms of communication and leadership development. And even at the topmost level, the international president treats every member just the same. We're all Toastmasters together. And that was something that really became evident to me. It's like, oh, Steve needs help. Oh, great. I've got the time. I'm going to come and help him, and we'll do that 20-minute podcast interview. And he was happy to come and support me in that. Very patient, very graceful, and it was awesome to have. For me, that was a special moment to have that, because I didn't. Again, it's another barrier. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. If I didn't have the confidence, I might not have ever asked. But I'm glad that I had the confidence to say, oh, you know, I'm going to try. What's the worst thing? They'll just say no. They might not work. Whatever, schedules conflict. That's fine. But in this case, it worked out, and there he was. I was able to interview the international president. It was a cool experience.
So did you share that episode or all your episode with all the Toastmaster members too?
I did.
And did you get any feedback at all from anybody that said, wow, great interview, they enjoyed it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, the members that were able to listen to it really enjoyed it. They really thought it was an awesome project. I believe that the podcast is still on SoundCloud. You know, if people want to go see. I haven't done any recent episodes for quite some time, but that was a lot of fun project. I mean, if you are interested, you can always go to District 64 Empowering Success on SoundCloud. So it's a free platform that I was able to leverage to be able to deliver on that Pathways project.
So again, you mentioned that you have around 270,000 or 27,000 members worldwide?
Worldwide.
And this
yes.
is over 100 years that you've got
yes.
these members.
Yeah, coming up on October 22nd, it's 100 years for Toastmasters International, and we have 270 members worldwide and growing.
So besides the International Convention in August, will they do something very special on that day to commemorate the 100th anniversary?
Well, I think the whole conference, or the whole convention, I say, the International Convention, is the celebration. So my understanding is that there'll be a gala dinner. Of course, there's lots of keynotes. One highlight of the International Convention is the World Public Speaking Championship that happens. So every year, Toastmasters around the world, starting at the club level, compete in speech contests. And those speech contests move from the club level to the area level, to the division level, to the district level, right? So we're District 64. Then the winner of the district finals goes to a regional quarterfinal, and then those winners go on to the semifinals and the worldwide stage at the International Convention. So, of course, the 100th anniversary will have an overall theme. I believe they have a 1920s theme, right, to recognize, you know, the decade that Toastmasters International was born in. So there'll be a whole theme. Of course, there'll be gala dinners, the World Public Speaking Championship that will happen. There's also the annual business meeting that happens, and that's one of the reasons why all the district leaders come from around the world, because there's important business, and there's actually a leadership position elections that happen for international directors and the international officers, like the second vice president, first vice president, the international president, like they all get elected into office. So it's a lot of fun. It's a time of celebration. It's a time of fun. It's a time of educational development, networking.
I wonder if your organization attracts a wide variety of diverse cultures, Indigenous, LGBTQ+2, all age people with disabilities.
That's right, yeah. So the Toastmasters program is open to all. And it's really doing its hard work to be as accessible as possible to all. So we definitely have members from all different backgrounds that have joined, you know, in the different clubs that we have across the district and also worldwide.
And I also want to know, too, one time I thought there was niche chapters that were around like media chapters or financial chapters or recreation. What happened to those chapters?
So we still have those chapters, and it's really up to the club. So the club makeup can take many forms. So you can have community clubs, You can have educational school clubs that are maybe closer to universities. You have corporate clubs. Sometimes you have bookkeeping clubs. I don't think we have today, but we've had clubs that are based around accountants. We have young professional clubs. We have advanced speaking or professional speaking clubs that are more around trying to build up people to professional speaking caliber. So really it's up to the club. And what's interesting about the club environment is it's up to the members on how they shape and what they want to focus on. Sometimes it's just a regular Toastmasters club. They just focus on the program. They just enjoy one another. Maybe, the social environment of it. They want to build up their communication and leadership skills, and that's good enough. But other times, there's specific specialty clubs, and those members might agree that we all kind of have this common interest that brings us together too. But we'll also practice Toastmasters and communication and leadership development while also sharing those other interests as well. So there's also club chartering opportunities. So if there's a group out there that wants to come together, that you can charter a club, and it's just centric around that idea, but you're practicing the communication and leadership development of the program itself.
Well, one thing I want to ask you too, now, to be a member of Toastmasters, you must be age of majority?
That's right.
So you also mentioned that some youth at large or not connected to Toastmasters directly can get involved. Can you just share a little bit about that?
Oh, for sure. So to be a formal Toastmasters member, right, where you have, you're part of a club and all these things that we've talked about, that you have to be age of a majority, so that's 18 years or older. But Toastmasters does have programs that support any interest in the youth or age of minority. So that includes youth leadership programs. So any club within District 64 Toastmasters International, they can run a youth leadership program, which is basically a set of workshops that's geared and targeted towards the youth to be able to build confidence and to learn fundamental public speaking skills. And it's usually a 4 to 6 week workshop, and it's driven and led and facilitated by members within Toastmasters. Oftentimes it's a club that will kind of sponsor a youth leadership program and will deliver it on behalf of a requesting organization. And that's one way that we can get youth involved. So oftentimes within District 64, there'll be different youth leadership programs that are run through the year. Additionally, on top of that, Toastmasters International also offers something called a Gavel program. And what a Gavel program is it's not like a formal Toastmasters program where you're a formal member and you're part of the larger community, but it's more like a small self-contained Toastmasters program. I think it's largely paper-based, but say a high school. So say a high school and some teachers would say, oh, I love Toastmasters. I wonder how we can get our youth engaged a little bit more with Toastmasters. Well, that school administration is all self-contained. They can take that Gavel program and they can deliver that Gavel program all self-contained within their students. So it's just safe within that high school. And it's kind of arm's length. So the district doesn't really have much connection with it, but they have more of a connection to Toastmasters International, and they're able to get access to the program just for their students, and the students can run through the different projects, and it's just all contained within that school. So they can still get the development opportunities out of the learning platform that is Toastmasters.
Okay, Stephen, could you offer some content information if somebody wants to connect to you or somebody at the Toastmasters International with a website or email?
Yeah, I think the best way to contact or to find a club is really to reach out and to become a guest of a local club in your area. So one great way to find a club in your area is to go to www.toastmasters.org. And then you use the Find a Club tool and find a club near you to be able to join. Because really, that's where the membership experience and the membership value is driven, and the magic of building that confidence in communication and leadership skills development. So if you go to that website, www.toastmasters.org, use the Find a Club tool to find a club that's in your proximity. There's a place where you can type in your address, a 2-mile radius, and you'll find a lot of clubs that are meeting at different times. Go and visit a club. Be a guest. And don't just choose one club. Go to a couple clubs, because every club, as I've mentioned, is just slightly different. And one club might be a great fit, another club might be, okay, maybe not as nice fit, just because where you're at in your life and development. So you can choose the best one that suits your needs. And then explore your journey, enjoy your journey, join, because it's just, the program is tremendous. It's just really hard to anticipate how far you might go, what experiences you might encounter, and what new friends that you'll find along the way.
Okay, I want to thank you for taking your time out to share this comprehensive discussion about Toastmasters. And I just want to mention, I noticed there's a special pin you're wearing, a 100th anniversary pin. So this pin has already been designated for the 100th anniversary in October. They've already made these pins up. And does all the only leaders get the pins, or do all the members get pins?
Ooh, well, these are all pins. Oftentimes they're given out, as reward or incentive or recognition. So I was able to get this as kind of a reward and recognition, because we kind of had an event at District 64. We have lots of different little events through the year that all our members can engage in. So we had one that was called, Fun in the Park, or Spark in the Park, that we had, which was a lot of fun. So all the different leaders and members came, and I was able to get recognized, and I was able to get a few pins there. But one thing that I would like to offer you, Barry, as thanks for having me on this show, is the 100th anniversary pin. So this is a pin that's recognizing the centennial year for Toastmasters International. So this is a limited run pin. But I'd like to offer this to you as a gift, and for many thanks for having me on your show. And Toastmasters International, they have pins. They have lots of pins to recognize many different things. If you notice, I have another pin on my lapel, and this is my district director pin. So when I was formally inducted in as district director, I got my own little district director pin. I've got my program quality pin. So these are kind of a special thing, a nice little keepsake and memento.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's a very beautiful pin.
It is.
So, Stephen, I see you brought your laptop today, and we were talking about finding a club, and I noticed we're at the Toastmaster.org website. So step us through the procedure, how you'd find a club in the city we live in.
Sure, I'd love to, Barry. So the Toastmasters.org website, and this is where we're landed on here, it's www.toastmasters.org, is a site that you really want to go to learn everything about Toastmasters, just on a high level scale. Of course, there's tremendous amount of materials within the Toastmasters website as well, that you can dive very deep into everything that you need to know about the Toastmasters program. But it all starts with the www.toastmasters.org site. Some things to point out, there's the educational program. So if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about the Pathways curriculum, you can click on that. You can click on the membership tab if you want to learn a little bit more about the membership experience. If you're a new prospective member who may want to join, it's really great introductory information that's there as well. But more importantly, you have to go and visit a club. Visit a club as a guest. Every club will welcome you with warm, open arms. And it's you'll find new friends, learning opportunities. It's just a great thing. And to find a club, again, you go to the website, you click on the Find a Club button. That's on the top right-hand side of the screen. And it'll take you to this screen here where you'll find a really handy tool that will give you a map. And then you'll find a search line here, and you can just type in your address. I'm just going to type in a random address. I'm going to say 100 Main Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba, because the purpose here, and I want to select a 2-mile radius. So you can select from 2 miles to 150 miles, because there's literally Toastmasters clubs like all around the world. Like I mentioned, that there's over 14,000 clubs worldwide. In District 64, we have over 60 clubs. Many of them are centered around Winnipeg. So I'll go 2 miles radius, and then I'll scroll down here, and I'll go 100 Main Street. So that's just downtown. Oh, here we go. It's the first item. But you might type in your own personal address, or maybe your work address where you're located, because maybe you want to find a corporate club to meet. Or if it's a community club, use your home address. So I'm just going to click OK there. And then, presto! It'll automatically take you to a classic Google style map. And you can zoom in. So I want to hit the plus button a couple times to kind of zoom in, just to get a sense of, Oh my gosh! Look at all the clubs that are within a 2-mile radius. That's a lot. It's a lot. So that means there's a lot of choice. So you can click on any one of these bubbles, and of course, it's going to give you a summary on the side here on the left side as well. But the big thing is you just want to explore and maybe click on one. Maybe I'll click on this one here. And I'll scroll up just a little bit. So this is Centennial 313 Toastmasters Club, and it looks like they meet on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. So you can click on Club Contact Club, and that'll take you to a webby page that you can send them an email through like an online form, so you can get in contact with that club leadership. So it's really that easy, and I really recommend that you go and visit a couple of clubs just to see which one's like a good fit for you. Because some clubs have a specific focus, some are more generalized, some are maybe more social, community-oriented clubs, some are more professional development clubs, some are maybe more closely associated to like a school, like a university or college. So there's all different sorts of clubs. The challenge is just finding one that fits you, your time, your needs, to be able to enable you to meet your goals that you're aspiring to achieve.
Okay, well, thanks very much for showing that Find a Club feature. It seems a very powerful feature and very easy to use.
Yeah, it really is. It's good enough to get oriented, at least for clubs that are in your local geographic area. And of course, if you're visiting if you are a member proper and you're visiting, another country or another province, and you're interested to visit as a guest, there's always that opportunity as well.
Okay, well, thanks again, Stephen, for coming on down and sharing this great valuable information about Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Barry.
And have a great trip when you go to Anaheim in August.
Thank you so much, Barry. It's going to be so much fun, traveling out there. And the Toastmasters journey is just wonderful. And I feel like every year that I start a new learning cycle with Toastmasters International, I find that I'm starting anew all over again as a new learning journey. And the next year will be another, and it just goes on.
Well, thanks so much again, and thanks for the pin, Stephen. I really like this pin here. It's very, very nice and shiny. Thank you. And now for some public service announcements. The Women in Tech Manitoba's monthly networking events. Tech Manitoba meets at the King's Head Pub every Thursday. In fact, this Thursday they'll be talking about your career in technology and networking. Aikens Business Centre also has free networking Friday 9 to 11. Thursday 11 to 12 they have an AI seminar. And the last Saturday of the month they always have the Never Alone Breakfast where they bring in a keynote speaker. This free event is 819 Sargent Avenue. You can email info@aikensbiz.ca for more information. Now, if you want to be on the show, also check Eventbrite for many events in Winnipeg, and many are free. This TV episodes will be on Linktree/Manitoba Connections on social media. This show will also air on channels 9 and 105 on the Rogers TV network. And thanks again for watching. Tune into my next show where I'll have as my special guest from the Indigenous community, Nikki Komaksicek. She's actually a throat singer, and her cousin Litria Samarta, a throat singer, will be on there. Brandy Vanzina, a singer-songwriter who's also performed at Nashville, and the Ivan Flatt Memorial Dancers. If you would like to be a guest on the show, contact manitobaconnection@shaw.ca. If you have an event, charitable nonprofit you'd like announced, contact the email above. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.